This is Gilgamesh again from overclockerstech.com, and I'd just like to mention our sponsors for this guide. We have Tech for the best bench tables. We have Icy Diamond, and you can have a look more about this. This is the perihelion model, and you can have a look more about this at www.innovationcooling.com, and of course specialtech.co.uk where you can actually buy, again, we can buy this IC diamond from, and any insulation foam that you require. Right, going back onto the dry ice cooling guide. As you can see, if we like to look at the BIOS temperature, we now have the BIOS in operation on the motherboard, and as you can see, we're now in the PC health status. At the moment, you can see it's not going very much to the 35 degrees to the sub-zero cooling that we want. It's at high temperatures. Right, this is only the start. How I recommend you when you actually start is to avoid cold boot locks. What happens is the CPU and the motherboard cannot handle the actual the drop of temperature, a sharp drop of temperature. So the secret on how to do this properly is actually just to actually put a few pellets of dry ice into here in order to drop the temperature slowly. And this is how we do it. If you like to come and have a look here, as you can see, the temperature is at 37 degrees and rising, and the Northbridge temperature is a constant 32. Now, if I like to put a couple of these in, already you can see it's starting to spit, and this is why earlier we recommended not to fill it, because otherwise the actual the thermal compound, or rather the actual acetone, will actually come over to the motherboard and ruin. As you can see now, we've got a few pellets in there, and I suggest you let them fizzle away and to drop the temperature. And if we do like to do the same for the Northbridge, which now is currently rising, and as you can see, it's coming out at the top again. Now, if you'd in the next part of the guide, we'll see the temperature dropping even further. As you can see now, with a few more dry ice pellets installed in here, we've now gone down from plus 35 degrees to minus 48 degrees. The only trouble is, again, we have the limitations of the BIOS. As you see, though the Northbridge temperature is sub-zero cooled as well, that can only reach 0 degrees. And this is due to the limitations of the sensor on the BIOS. Again, dry ice goes down to minus 79, so it's quite possible that this is actually a lot colder than it's showing here. But again, we're limited on the actual sensor, onboard sensor of this motherboard. I mean, this is a Foxconn motherboard, and we're overclocking the Q9550. I think the world record overclock is around about slightly less than 4.9 gigahertz. So possibly today we're going to try and possibly get 4.4, 4.5 from a 2.8 gigahertz processor. And now we'll show you what I mean by the limitations of the BIOS. If we cool this down even further by putting more pellets of dry ice in, again, as you can see, not holding with the hands. Hello there again. Right, now that you can actually see the actual limitations of this BIOS, now that we've put a few more dry ice pellets in, it's now gone beyond minus 50 degrees C, and the onboard temperature can no longer measure it, because it's simply not quality enough to actually to cope with the actual extreme low temperatures we're actually using. As you can see, everything's down to 0 degrees because the sensors can no longer handle the actual extreme temperatures. So again, once again, the best of getting a Kelvin probe and a digital thermometer from www.diamondtech.it, and to overcome this problem, so you can accurately measure the actual temperature of your CPU. And if you want to, you can get a 2 probe K probe one, where you can actually put it inside your actual Northbridge cooler as well.